Hello everyone and welcome back to Brotato. I am Duke Silver. Today we're going to be checking out the arms dealer for this Danger 5 run. The arms dealer is it's one that I struggled on. It's a pretty difficult run as like there's a lot of RNG. You're dependent on a lot of RNG is what I'm trying to say. So let's just go through this. So obviously there's only one starting weapon. You start with a pistol and that's for a reason. So we get negative 95% weapons price, so everything we buy of course is reduced drastically, plus 30 harvesting, so you start with a little bit of econ. Damage is increased by 25%, all modifications. You start with one dangerous bunny, which is a one free reroll. Shops always sell at least one weapon, which again is important. And here's the real kicker of the potato. All of your weapons are destroyed when entering a shop. So every single wave you have to buy a brand new set of weapons. So again, it's very RNG dependent, but it's a pretty fun one anyways. So you kind of have to kind of try and lock weapons that you want to keep to sort of tag yourself for those types of weapons. So we're going to be trying to focus on ranged damage here. So we're going to be trying to lock like guns to be able to see more guns in the shop, as well as we're going to stack range damage too, of course. I mean, of course we're going to stack range damage with guns. We're going to, yeah, pretty self-explanatory. Anyways, let's get into it. So we'll start with pistol, Danger 5, of course. Here we go. Okay, so yeah, arms dealer. So yeah, the premise of this is we have to buy brand new weapons every single shop. So you're gonna see me locking, like I said before, you're gonna see me locking certain subtypes of weapons whenever possible, to make it more likely for weapons to show up. I feel like this is like one of the harder runs on, especially on Danger 5, because like you're very very RNG dependent, and yeah, like sometimes like you just don't find the weapons that you need, or you don't find high enough quality weapons. Because weapons are so cheap, you can see they're 1 and 2 materials here. Like we are going to be buying items. Like when you normally wouldn't be in the first few waves. Usually I'm just buying weapons for the first few waves, but we have to be kind of conservative with our weapon buys here. Like we don't want to spend too much, because prices do go up the more items you buy. Also, you saw that I locked the gun there. That means that's going to keep us tagged for guns, so there's a higher likelihood for guns to show up in our shop. Take a bit of max HP there. We get to pick up our gun that we locked last turn. And turrets are a reasonable way to keep like a consistent source of damage that stays through waves. So we are going to be picking up a fair amount of turrets, and we'll probably invest a little bit in engineering. In general, the way I like to play arms dealer, or that I found worked, was generally I'll buy as many weapons as the level of waves there are. Because I mean, after wave 6 is when the difficulty actually spikes, like relatively to a relatively harder difficulty. Like the first 6 waves I think are pretty free, basically no matter what you're doing, and then wave 7 is when large enemies start to spawn. So we need to be a little bit more cognizant of how powerful we are. Pick up a few guns there. We're gonna pick up one more for this turn. We were hoping to lock one more, but don't think we're gonna be able to. We want to lock this metal though. It's just too many stats to not. And with guns, like in general, I don't go for like a ton of crit chance, because usually you want flat damage with those weapons. We end up buying 5 weapons here, even though I think we could have gotten away with 4, but we could have just locked that pistol instead. But yeah, we go with it instead. That means we don't get to lock a pistol, which makes our chances of finding guns in the next wave a little bit less likely. Also, you'll see me prioritize flat range damage over percentage damage with guns, just because in general a lot of guns are sort of a higher rate of fire, and you just get more out of flat damage than you do out of percentage damage. Definitely recycle the melee, we don't need that at all. We will take some percentage damage here. Also, all damage modifications are increased. That includes percentage damage as well as range damage. We get rewarded with a couple of SMGs there. And there's a piggy bank. I don't know how well we're going to be able to make use of the piggy bank, because in general you spend a lot on rolling in this run. But I mean, as you like, I've said it before, I'll say it again. You'll see me picking up a lot of piggy banks, because in general piggy bank is so abusable. that I feel like you have to take it early, and even if you don't get a ton of value, you'll always make your money back, I think. So I'm basically always taking piggy bank when I see it early enough in the run. Like, and by early enough I mean before wave 10. Handle that wave pretty well. We get a little harvesting. We don't care about the melee damage here, so we are going to take the fertilizer. Now we're between armor and luck here, and we take the luck. We get to pick up the piggy bank that we locked last turn, and we get a very early nuke launcher, which is fantastic. But we're not going to take it for wave 6. Like I said, wave 7 is where we get like a little bit of a difficulty spike, and then there's a bigger difficulty spike on 10, of course. So we're going to lock it for at least next wave. We don't want to lock it for too many waves, because it does. I'm pretty sure it counts as the one weapon in the shop. Like, we're guaranteed one weapon per shop, but I think if you have one locked, then you're not necessarily guaranteed that one. Or you're not guaranteed to see another one, I don't believe, but that could be wrong, so don't quote me on that. But yeah, I mean, in general, I don't like leaving things locked for too long, as it gums up your shop, gives you less opportunity to find like higher level weapons, and it just lowers the quality of your shops overall, is what I should say. There, we're gonna pick up the nuke launcher now. And I mean that tags us for elemental and explosive. So fortunately we find a shredder, which is also a gun, which tags us for guns as well. Leather vest is interesting. We lose some max HP. We've got a decent health pool for where we're at in the run, but we decide not to take it there. I could take the power generator, but I found with these runs, like, I just don't have the resources towards the end to like really build the speed that would make it worth it. Although I think power generator is an incredible item. Like, it's possible that's a mistake, not taking it and then just taking speed whenever we can, because we do get the enhanced damage from it, so speed becomes even more valuable. And I mean, having mobility is just in general very, very good. So again, that could be a mistake. I'm pretty the more I talk about it, the less sure I am about that decision that I made at the time. So because again, power generator I think is one of the best items in the game. I think being able to stack speed while also stacking damage is just incredibly powerful, because speed doesn't necessarily make you stronger, but being mobile is very good. But being mobile isn't necessarily enough to beat waves. I mean, yeah, we're gonna go with the HP regen there. The attack speed was pretty tempting, but I figure we need survivability. We pick up a couple crossbows, which does not tag us for guns, but I mean, they're still ranged weapons, so we still get a decent benefit from them. And as you can see, we haven't really been able to like stack as many resources for piggy bank as we want, as this is a potato that's all about using all your money generally every shop. Even if the guns are super cheap, it's rolling that really costs all the resources. Being able to fill up your weapon slots generally takes a few rolls, so you end up wasting a lot of resources on that. Which I guess is why they include the dangerous bunny, your free reroll, as part of your sort of potato kit. Yeah, you can see our damage is not great. We haven't found much flat damage. We've found some percentage damage, but with this low base damage of these guns, it's just not really doing a ton. We got to take the level 4 upgraded harvesting there. This contributes to our econ, and of course, if you stack harvesting, then harvesting kind of stacks itself. And we took a screwdriver. That's gonna give us a little bit of engineering. We have I think, what is that, 6 turrets already? So engineering is going to be quite good, which is why we're going to lock this metal detector as well. It would have been nice to be able to pick up the metal detector this run, because I mean, you get so many materials on the ground. But yeah, also we picked up a flamethrower, so flamethrower is pretty good on this run, as it just has such high rate of fire, and it's pretty good for clearing like super low health enemies that pop up in droves in this wave. As the fire ticks usually get them pretty quick. Like, obviously it only does 1 damage just initially, but the fire ticks generally it's like 1 to 2 ticks is enough to take down these enemies. So the fact that it also hits multiple enemies at once is definitely relevant. Take a little bit of armor. Max HP. So I mean, obviously we want to be able to survive. We would love to see some flat range damage here. That is why we lock the wheat, because it gives us some flat range damage as well as some harvesting. We also get the metal detector, which is going to give us luck. It's going to give us extra materials potentially, as well as a little bit of engineering. And there's Retromation's hoodie, which is going to give us attack speed for every bit of dodge that we have. Unfortunately, we have 0 dodge right now, so it's like we would have to invest in dodge after taking it. So I do roll past it, but just like the power generator, that might have been a mistake. Although we're on wave 10, so it's tough to say whether that was a mistake or not. We take one last roll and get rewarded with 3 guns in the shop that we get to lock, which is fantastic. But I found, like I said, I kind of struggled with this run. So like I found the build-arounds were a little bit tougher to do, because we have to spend so much of our resources just finding weapons every single shop. So yeah, I mean, I think maybe stacking harvesting super early is like the best way to run this, but I think guns are definitely the way to go if you're struggling with this run. Like I mean, I think guns in general are just like very powerful and very easy to clear waves with. So that's definitely the way that I would go if I had to do it again. Which I mean I'll definitely like try more arms dealer runs in the future. But yeah, the melee was pretty difficult, but I kind of want to do like a elemental. Elemental would be interesting. Being able to, if you can get consistent elemental damage and find things, then picking up like a strange book with all the turrets that you can pick up is I think very good. I'm gonna pick up those 3 guns. We get rewarded with even more guns on the next roll. So we've got a ton of materials and our full weapon suite here. We could potentially just lock a couple things here and then get some piggy bank value, and we're gonna do just that. We get a little bit of piggy bank value anyways. I think we've made our money back on it now. Things are going relatively smoothly. Like, we're finding guns with good consistency because we keep locking guns, as you can see. Our damage needs a little bit of work though, but it's okay. Like the mummies aren't necessarily swarming us, but we're not exactly knocking them down super fast either. I think these turrets are really helping out a lot. You can see Tyler there doing it looked like it was doing 100 damage, but maybe it was just a couple of 18 stacked on top of each other. So it's doing okay anyways though. The little chip damage does help us clear waves, so that's definitely worth noting. Pick up some harvesting. There's a triangle of power, which is pretty interesting, but we don't take that as well. Since we're specifically ranged, like I think triangle of power would have been a big good pickup. Again, we get a bunch of bonus from the triangle of power, but it's also a higher risk because we have the increased damage modifications. Because that means that every time we get hit, that modification is factored in as well. So we lose more damage per hit. So I guess it kind of comes out like about the same, but it's just once you take that 10th hit and the bonus damage from the triangle is like completely used up, and then you continue taking hits and taking bigger chunks of damage off, is what I'm concerned about anyways. Alright, and this looks like a horde wave now. One thing that one bad habit that I have is I never check where the elites and horde waves are. I focus too much on the shops. So generally when they pop up, I'm always surprised. And even while doing post commentary and watching this back, I'm still failing to check it. It's just something I should really work on and be more cognizant of. We got a pretty good grouping of turrets over here. We've got like 5 turrets in the bottom left here. Our clear isn't exactly great. I mean, the quality of weapons that we have is generally pretty low because we just have to buy whatever's in the shop, right? And we can't really spend the resources to upgrade them. We definitely, like, I think, okay, like I said, I think piggy bank is like maybe not the best because we have to spend so much per round. But also, I think if you can get a piggy bank rolling, it's very powerful. Just because, like, like you want to be able to spend a ton of money in the final runs or during the elite runs. Also, like I said, we should probably check where the elites are, and the elite waves are going to spawn on wave 15 and 18. So that's something you should probably check, and something again that I need to work on being more cognizant of. There's certain waves that are a lot harder for elites. Like I think wave 18 is pretty tough, but I think wave 17 might even be harder, just because like wave 17 is like a jacked up version of wave 11, where there's a ton of mummy enemies, the high health ones that can charge at you if you don't take them down fast enough, and they do a ton of damage. But they're very susceptible to knockbacks, so that is something that maybe you can kind of play around them in that way if you're not able to do a ton of damage. But you do need the attack speed to keep them off of you. And yeah, again, our wave clear not great. We're surviving waves though with good health. But we're not taking down enemies as quickly as I would like to be. There's another wheat there. We take the candle, which is gonna lower the amount of enemies on the map. So I think that's gonna be useful because we don't have such great wave clear. We missed a scope there, which I think is probably a mistake, and I just kind of glossed over it because we do want flat range damage. We don't have a ton of it. All right, this map is this wave's a little bit challenging when we don't have good clear, because like when we take out those large host enemies that spawn 3 projectile spitters, they like if we're not able to take down the projectile throwers, then they can build up and be a real problem. As you can see, there's already a ton of projectiles on the screen, so we kind of have to go into bullet hell dodge mode here in the corner. And yeah, things get a little bit sketchy, but we managed to break through. We only take a few hits there. We're going to take a few more as we try and dive in and get some materials. But we managed to outweight them, and we dodge well enough to get around them. We get to pick up another turret for free, which is great. We get our free roll there. There's a level 3 shotgun. There's another power generator. If we could have had several power generators here, so that's a little unfortunate. But we are going to take this power generator because we already have the speed. This power generator is just going to give us some immediate payoff. Although we do need to increase our flat range damage for this percentage damage to really work for us. Or we're going to lock a potato thrower just because it's a ranged weapon. Here, this is the elite wave, wave 15. We need to take down the eggs here, otherwise we will get overwhelmed by large enemies. And we do a pretty good job of that, even though our wave clear is not excellent. I think our weapons are pretty good this round. You can see we've got a couple level 3 weapons this time. We're not able to get in close enough to really focus down this elite, but yeah, again, I think our clear is okay now. At least it is for this wave, because we have the upgraded weapons. We are still there's still a lot of pressure on us here though, but we were able to clear for longer than we had been previously, so we end up surviving there. We leave a lot of materials on the ground, 327, which is a little bit unfortunate, but again, we're making it through. And we get to pick up the potato thrower that we locked, and we're gonna pick up a sad tomato. There's community support is excellent. It's gonna give us attack speed for every enemy that's on the map. We did reduce the amount of enemies, but it's still gonna be very, very strong. It's just community support is just like an excellent item for catching you up when you're behind on stats, as it just gets better the more you're overwhelmed, basically. These weapons are not nearly as good, but I mean, it's not an elite wave, so it's not as big a deal. It would have been nice to get a little bit more engineering, as we have just like a huge amount of turrets here. But even without like a ton of engineering, again, all the chip damage with the amount of turrets that we have here is still contributing to our wave clear. and we'd be much worse off without it. With the we haven't found much range damage, and we skipped a couple ranged damage items. That were definitely a mistake. So we're doing okay in despite of my mistakes so far. That's what I'm trying to say. All right, again, we leave a bunch of materials on the ground. A little bit unfortunate. All right, we take a little bit of dodge there. There's a rip and tear, but that scales off melee, so we're not really interested in that. We get to pick up a couple more guns. They're base level guns, so it's a little bit awkward. We've only got one level 2 weapon right now. And yeah, we're just gonna lock the SMG there, and we're gonna go with some pretty weak weapons here. And waves, like I said, wave 17 is like a jacked up version of wave 11. The mummy enemies are very hard to deal with, and there's a lot more of them now. And yeah, you can see we don't have much knockback, and we're not taking them down super quick, so they build up super fast. The fact that we've been stacking some speed and we're able to pick up the power generator, you can see we are able to keep ahead of them and just kind of kite them around, but in general they're pretty tough. Like if we didn't have as much speed as we do, they would definitely be on top of us and we'd probably be dead. So mobility is important for survival, for sure. The tentacles kind of keep us zoned in certain areas, but again, we don't pick up all the materials that we left on the ground even last time, but we do end up with a decent amount of materials here, and we want to try and use as little materials as possible for the final wave. There's a fin, which is going to be very good. It's going to give us some lifesteal as well as some speed. Speed's going to give us damage, so it's a very potent item at this point. And there's another triangle of power. Which I think it's worth it. I'm not sure if I take it here. I do not. I think my clear just isn't good enough, and I was a little bit concerned about that, about being able to actually keep enemies off of me and not take damage. Also, this is the elite wave. Excuse me, the elite wave. There's another metal detector, which we do pick up, and there's another SMG after we roll. We're gonna take it and upgrade one of our weapons just to try and give us some more damage this turn. And there's another triangle of power. Also, we take another SMG just to again upgrade our damage a little bit against this elite and try and keep our wave clear nice and high and be able to survive this elite wave. Wave 18 with this elite is a little bit challenging because these charging enemies can kind of, like, you don't really have a ton of freedom of movement. You have to be playing around their charges and dodging them, and this elite can get in your face very easily. And if you stay within range of the elite's charge, then they will just constantly charge at you, as you can see. And the charges become more frequent as it moves to its second stage. So you have to have good wave clear, otherwise you're going to be dodging the elite into the enemies or into their charges, and you can just take a lot of damage with a couple of missteps. Take some max HP there. We've got a pretty good decent pool of HP here. Wave 19, we get an explosive turret there as well. That's really nice. And I was saying that we didn't get much engineering, but we did actually pick up 22 engineering. From these like metal detectors and just like little bits of engineering over the course of the run. So I think our turrets are actually putting in quite a bit of damage, and I'm very glad I was able to aggressively pick them up. And yeah, I think they did a lot of work, and I think that's a pretty viable strategy for arms dealer, is taking incidental structures that can keep doing damage, or secondary sources of damage where you don't have to rely on the quality of your weapons. And yeah, again, we tried to keep as many resources as possible going into this wave, because next wave is the final wave, so we want to burn all our materials just finding the best weapons possible to take down the bosses. Alright, we have 1,400 materials to work with. We do lose some armor, but we're taking a second community support. That's going to give us a ton more attack speed. Again, that's 1 attack speed for every enemy that's on the map. And I mean, with the second one, that's two attack speed for every enemy that's on the map, which ends up being a ton. And yeah, we're just taking every gun that we can find, and we're gonna keep rolling until we're out of materials, and we're gonna get the as high level weapons as possible here. Level 3 shotgun is fantastic here. We're just gonna combine that laser gun. We don't want too many laser guns. They have a really slow rate of fire. And we get another level 3 shotgun, which gives us a level 4 shotgun, which is fantastic. There's a magical leaf. Far too late. We saw a magical leaf and a vigilante ring so far in this shop. I think two things that would have been much better several waves earlier. Pick up another laser gun there, and there's another level 2 laser gun, which we're going to combine into a level 3. And there's a shredder, which I think we might want to get rid of this this one laser gun, because I think shredder is just way better at clearing. Oh, actually, no, we go for the plasma sledgehammer, which is an explosive and elemental damage. It doesn't do a ton, but we have a decent amount of percentage damage. Never mind, we have negative percentage damage. So, but I mean, the sledgehammer just has such high base damage that I think it's going to be okay, and it's actually going to do a good job of keeping enemies off of us. It's gonna really increase our wave clear for enemies that swarm us. Like, it's not going to be like a huge source of DPS or anything, but the fact that it hits for splash damage is why I think it's valuable here. And yeah, you can see our speed really coming into play in this. In general, the runs where we don't actually take out the bosses, the speed comes into play a lot. Just being able to dodge through the boss's attacks very consistently is very important. All right, now we separated the bosses as we've knocked the one that gets mobile into to half HP. It can be a little bit awkward when they kind of converge on you though in this stage, because one of them is a lot more mobile and will pressure you while you're standing in the circle. But yeah, no. But we get there anyways. We managed to survive the final wave. Again, this took me quite a few runs, and I feel like we definitely could have done better. You know, it's possible I should have just been aggressively taking the percentage damage items earlier. We ended up with negative percentage damage just from items that we took. Even though I felt like we had a decent amount of speed, we had the power generator. We should have been able to do reasonable damage. But yeah, even with the well, I guess the wisdom reduced our damage by a lot, but it increased it every 5 seconds by quite a bit. So I think the wisdom is probably factoring in right now on the final screen. But yeah. Anyways, this was an interesting run. It's definitely a very interesting potato. It's very hard, I found anyways. Maybe you've had a different experience. Definitely let me know in the comments. But yeah, if you enjoyed this, please leave a like and subscribe if you haven't already. It really helps the channel, and leaving a like lets YouTube know that it should recommend my content to other people, and I would very much appreciate that. Yeah, I think that's it for today. So I hope you all have a great rest of your day, and I will see you tomorrow.